about Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah. You want to go first?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, well, first and foremost, I was working on a review. I sent you the intro or whatever.
Let's do the Ebert, the old school Siskel and Ebert way. So you talk, tell me how you feel about it, and then I'll tell you if I agree or disagree afterwards.
Okay, so I don't. Damn. Well, so anyways, I'm quite biased. I'm a Godzilla fan, always have been, probably, and I most certainly always will be. So I was extremely excited for this movie to come out. I was anticipating the moment it was announced, and it even being released on HBO Max, I was even more enthralled because I could have watched it the moment it was released, right? No standing lines, all that stuff. So I was extremely excited. The hype was really jarring to me because it felt like a lot of people were rooting for Kong, and everybody was leaving my man out. My freaking Gojira out. So, I had this really chip on my shoulder with it coming out because we don't know what's going to happen. So with the whole
wait, give me 1 second. I just want to say because I just thought of this. Let's keep it, and I'm going to try to do this the right way for once. Let's keep this spoiler free while we both give our opinions, and then after we've both given our opinions, we'll get into spoilers. So I'm giving everybody a warning. I feel like we'll probably talk for the next 5-6 minutes, and then we'll get closer to spoilers. So you have some time, but if you haven't watched it, you're going to want to skip ahead, and I will put in the description when to start and when to stop skipping.
Okay, so I will go ahead and fine. I'll thank you for saying that.
Yeah,
it gives me a little bit more guidance. So again, the movie, the anticipation was there, and I must say, I was completely in the entire movie. Even with the narrative and the character arcs and all that stuff, it wasn't just monster based. Well, which is great, but the monsters, if you will, Kong and Godzilla, have a tremendous amount of personality. The story is told so well, in my opinion, without them actually using language, if you will, or
sure.
You know what I mean? What's the word?
Dialogue.
Thank you. And so, and I think for a guy like me that's a fan of monster films, not horror films, but monster films like that, I think it really scratches that itch, and I think it is a really good take on a great modern take on two classic heroes, really. So
yeah, I could not agree more.
Yeah, I loved it.
I could not agree more. I had an absolute blast with it. I am a fan of Godzilla and King Kong franchises in as much as I've seen basically all of them. I've seen all the Showa era Godzilla, and I've seen all the classic King Kong. I wouldn't say that they're my go-to to ever put on. To be quite honest, the one I've seen the most is the '98 American Godzilla, and it's awful, but that's the one I connected with most as a kid. Probably because it was American. But I was a big fan of Godzilla 2000 when that came out, which I think was probably my first introduction to the more Japanese style of those movies.
Yeah, the cameras in that I don't know what they shot it on, but the textures and stuff in that Godzilla 2000 are quite
old school.
Yeah, it's cool.
I think it's because it's shot on film, and a lot of stuff had just started being shot in digital, so it was even more jarring. I'd have to check on that though. But back to GVK, I had a blast start to finish. I had some problems with the characters. But to be frank, the characters have been shit in every single one of these movies from the beginning of time, with the exception of maybe Shin Godzilla, which is basically a masterpiece of modern Godzilla movies.
Yeah.
So thinking about it that way, I guess I really don't have any complaints. Although, if this wasn't if this wasn't a franchise that had already basically established that they don't know what to do with their human characters, I may have cared more. But it never affected me. I thought the length was fantastic. Please keep more movies under 2 hours. It just helps. It helps so much to not. I hate when I'm enjoying a movie and I pause to go to the bathroom and the bar is still this long, and I'm like, I'm enjoying this, but can I enjoy it for that much longer? Yeah. And with this, I got up to pee. And I was sure we were only halfway through, and I got up to pee and paused, and there was 30 minutes left, and I was like, yes. So that's, yeah, absolutely enjoyed it. So that was the spoiler-free territory. We are now going to be getting into spoilers. Doug, do you want to go first, or do you just want to kind of spitball back and forth about things?
We can spitball.
My biggest complaint of this movie when I saw the trailer the first time, I texted one of my best friends from Austin is an insanely massive Godzilla fan, massive, and so I was mostly conferring back and forth with him. And when the first trailer came out, I texted him. I saw Mechagodzilla in that trailer, and it was like a flash of like a red eye or something, I think. And I just knew in that moment that there was no way they were going to fight through the whole movie. Yeah. My biggest complaint of the movie and seeing how it all unfolded was the entire subplot with the conspiracy host and Eleven and her little friend. That shit was just there to propel the Mechagodzilla narrative, but you could take it out and the Mechagodzilla narrative exists exactly the same because it kept flashing back to Damien Bashir, the bad guy. So we were getting that story regardless. I fucking hated that subplot, and it could have been completely cut out. It was so pointless. Think about that subplot. Nothing happened of any weight or importance. There's a couple of moments that get intense, and then no payoff.
No, yeah, I mean, I didn't really think about it that way, but you're right. I do. I mean, there really is no.
Also, you've seen all these movies, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Eleven's mom literally caused a huge disaster 1 movie ago. Yeah. And she's already talking shit to people for starting disasters. Like, maybe you should take a step back, bitch. Your mom just almost killed everyone.
By 11, you're referring to Millie Bobby Brown's character, right?
Yeah. I hated her in this movie. I could not stand her character in this. She was such a jerk to everyone. Her friend is loaning her his brother's van. He can't take it. He's nervous as fuck about it. And this jerk has the audacity to go, get in or don't get in. I'm taking the van. And starts burning off, and he has to jump in. That's fucking... What?
When she confronts her dad, and he's like, it's been a pretty hard day. Can you give Pop a break?
Bro, he could... the first thing I told Caroline was he could not have been in the movie, and it would have made no fucking difference.
No, yeah, he's only in that one scene, right? Two scenes?
He had 2 scenes where all he did was worry about his idiot kid who was off doing idiot stuff.
And I thought it was pretty wild how they ended up in Hong Kong, but whatever, that's fun too. But here's the thing. So
somewhere Elon Musk was watching that scene just whacking his dick off so hard. Just thought, they fucking love it. They're going to love it.
So, but with all that said, when it comes to the human characters, that dialogue, I really didn't pay too much mind to it because I was just anticipating what was to come. Sure. Does that make sense? Like, you know what I mean? Okay, like I can't even zone out of this and just be prepared for the fights, or whatever. But something that did annoy me is. I love King Kong, and I think he's a great character, and I do like that they made him like a heartfelt character, and not like just a vile beast,
Sure.
But I really didn't appreciate that they gave him so much lead, made it so much about him.
I agree so it's weird. I agree with that 50-50. Because Godzilla had that movie with King of the Monsters. We fell in love with Godzilla as that adorable character. Yeah. Or not adorable, but heartfelt character through King of the Monsters. If you go back and watch Skull Island, Kong is just vicious. There's really no humanity to him. And I think in order to make you connect, they had to do it.
Yeah, but I mean, they just made... and it's quite apparent, right when the movie gets rocking and rolling, that Godzilla is not turning on anybody, right? It's quite apparent that there's something going on to make him fucking start destroying.
And if you know the lore, you know what's happening immediately because there's one line that gives it away. Somebody says
Predator.
No, somebody says, when did they open a robotics facility? And I was like, he heard Mechagodzilla. And that's 10 minutes into the movie. So if you knew the lore, you could pick up on it.
That'd do that. Keep it under the 2-hour mark, I'd imagine, right? You can't
that buddy of mine actually ended up not liking it. which is weird because he fucking thought King of the Monsters was like the movie of the year. So I thought for sure this was, because I thought this was much better than all those movies. So I thought he would love it. And his big thing was he felt like it was cut up way too much. He feels like there's at least an hour more of movie we didn't get.
Well, probably.
Yeah, but I don't know what I would want more. I don't need more.
So the reason I kept on saying donkey is because I thought you were calling it donkey, so I was like, oh, we might be referring to Donkey Kong.
Oh, no, I think it should be monkey. I think I told you that the first time you said it. I thought you had mistyped it, and I still don't get the donkey.
Well, now that I type it, it just says donkey every time. So
oh, I remember one thing that I wanted to bring up, because this has been a problem. As far as I can think, and I mean, like, it's not as apparent in the old ones, and I mean the old ones, but this has been a problem with every King Kong movie. And surprisingly, not been a problem with any Godzilla movie, in my opinion, and I wonder why. And I don't know if you noticed this, but holy shit, King Kong changed sizes about 100 times in that movie. There were scenes where he was taller than mountains, and then scenes where he was in buildings. And that shit doesn't parse out.
Well, maybe they were just using, like, forced perspective, you know?
Not because there's humans around sometimes and stuff, so you can really see. Dude, I'm telling you, he's bigger at the beginning than he is on the ship. He's bigger on the ship than he is on Hollow Earth. And then he's bigger than all of that at the end when he's fighting Kong, or when he's fighting Godzilla.
Well, maybe, yeah, I did notice when they're on that freighter pushing him through, he did look much smaller than he should have been. And he's also, like, pretty small versus Kong in that fight.
Right, but then when they're fighting in
versus Godzilla.
But when they're fighting in Tokyo with all the neon and shit,
Hong Kong
rather, he's fucking massive. They're both bigger than the skyscrapers. It changes throughout the whole movie.
But dude, that's like the rampage that Dwayne Johnson probably.
I loved that movie.
Did you really?
I loved it.
I had fun with it too. I watched it.
It's stupid. I'll never watch it again. But it was dumb. It was dumb but fun.
No, but that was like the rampage fight that I was looking for. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, and also the freaking so the first fight with Kong and Godzilla in the water, dude.
So badass.
Huh?
So badass.
Okay, so like, you know when you anticipate something in a movie and like the first second it snaps in, that freaking. Oh,
yeah,
you know,
totally, of course.
I haven't felt that in a long time, and I was like watching that movie, and I might have just been like, I just remember being like, I don't remember like what position I left, but I remember being like literally on the edge of my seat, and it's like, oh yeah,
Bro.
I haven't had that feeling watching a freaking action movie in a long ass time.
Oh, for sure, for an action movie, fuck man, it's been a long. I think the last time a movie got me excited through action was probably District 9.
Yeah, and you know what I do like though? But now that I said that about Kong and like them giving him too much, I felt like it was a little bit imbalanced with the story to Godzilla. But then I think about like watching it like Godzilla versus Mothra when we were kids. That it was the same. Godzilla didn't even come out until like the later end of the movie, and it is really all about the moth. You know, so I mean, maybe I should check myself on that.
It's really weird because a big complaint for this MonsterVerse, starting with 2014, has been that there's not enough Godzilla and way too much humans. And going back, I can say 100%, Godzilla 2014 is a bad movie with a really good trailer and an awesome final 5 minutes. That movie's not good. And Godzilla's in 2 scenes. It's crazy.
What does he kill? The Mufo?
I don't even remember.
The giant, but when he freaking radiation beams.
Yeah, that's awesome. That part's awesome.
Oh, dude, it's so cool.
It's like the final shot of the movie, though.
The thing is, dude, like, you know, you brought up Godzilla, the American version from '98, when they refer to as Zilla, and that's like a terrible Godzilla and everything. But like, the thing I love about this Godzilla is they brought him back to his you mentioned earlier, like his adorability, if you will. You know what I mean? He like has those big legs, and he has that waddle to him, but he's still so badass. And his face isn't silly; it's like a really structured face.
You're right. His face isn't silly. However, there's one shot in this movie, and every time I brought it up, the other person knows what I'm talking about. So I'm pretty sure you'll know what I'm talking about. There is a shot in this movie towards the end where Godzilla looks directly into the camera and smirks, and. God damn it, if I didn't think that was the fucking coolest shots ever. I was just like, I can't believe they fucking took the time to animate that. He goes, It's just that. It's so good. It's
Dude,
so funny.
So with that battle, and I love it when Godzilla pretty much just freaking hugs up Kong and just like, we're going down, baby. And I like how so I guess what I do like is that they do give Godzilla the upper hand in the more, he's obviously the stronger,
He
better
fucks Kong up.
monster, right? So I'll give him that.
Titan.
And then the humans have to help out Kong, right?
Yeah.
When they drop those like water bombs, or the fuck they're called. So I do like that, and I do love the in battle where they just freaking, when Kong's just like on the ground, they like scream in each other's faces.
Oh yeah, that part's awesome. That's great.
So now, I know we're Pulp Fictioning this and bouncing all over. How do you feel about the Hollow Earth? And that's crazy because I was watching this. I'm like, dude, a Hollow Earth?
So they've been talking about that since King of the Monsters. It's in Skull Island too.
I understand, but like, we just saw Hillar.
I know. Yeah. What did I think of it? I thought it was fucking awesome. It looked incredible, and the really stupid ideas that they posited, they made them look cool. It made no sense. It was really dumb, but I thought it looked awesome.
It was so much fun. Yeah. And like, dude, even him getting to Hollow Earth, and dude,
I got nauseous watching that part. Honestly,
dude, I was getting really upset because they're making that little girl. I'm like, you're making this little girl lie to her best friend,
bro.
But she handled it well. She's like, I don't know.
The best part of that movie, right or wrong?
What, the little girl in Kong's relationship?
Just the little girl in general. She's the only human.
She was great.
She's from Austin.
I know. You keep on telling me that.
I know. She went to the deaf school by my guitar player's house.
On South First Street?
I don't know. I don't know my streets, Doug. It was just there.
Austin School for the Deaf and Blind.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a school. That's what it's called. No, it's what it's called. It's an actual... Anyways, before...
I know! I said she went to that school!
Cool!
I saw her there.
Why were you there?
I was there.
Just roaming around?
Just there.
Like, excuse me, sir, are you okay? Just like... Huh? Just... Oh, I was just...
Sorry, no, I'm just watching.
Yeah, just counting stuff. Anyways, so the Hollow Earth, I thought it was freaking badass. One thing I could have done without was the axe.
Nah. Yeah, it was kind of dumb, but it gave us one of the coolest shots where he jumps through the air and it swings down on. That was fucking slick.
It is dope. It's like the reason the axe is there is obviously they're going to make it's a tremendous part of the lore that has been left out for further notice, but the reason that axe was there was to create shots like that.
Yeah, 100%.
So I'm like, okay, I'll get behind it, but at the same time, I was like, he didn't need that.
No, not at all. He's fucking King Kong. He didn't need it. It's interesting, but you know, whatever. So I don't know how many people realize this. This movie was directed by a cat named Adam Wingard, and he's somebody I've been following for a really long time. He made a fantastic horror film called You're Next, and
that's a great movie.
Yeah, and then he made another fantastic movie called The Guest. And then he made a less than stellar remake of Blair Witch and an outright awful adaptation of Death Note. So when I heard that he was making this, I was extremely, extremely skeptical. Not skeptical, I was cautiously optimistic because I liked his original stuff. But it seems like the bigger movies that he's been making, they've been getting worse and worse. Death Note's unwatchable.
Blair Witch thing. I can't believe I watched that whole thing.
Blair Witch is pretty fucking bad too. And coming from someone who loves that franchise, that's like, I mean, that movie's bad. So I was pretty, I don't know, cautiously optimistic, but I didn't think it was going to work as well as it did. But before I saw it, they announced that he's the official director of the sequel to Face Off. And I don't know what a sequel to Face Off looks like or if it even works, but I kind of feel a little bit more confident in finding out now.
Interesting. So, like, what is next in the MonsterVerse? Who owns this? Warner Bros.?
Interestingly enough, Warner Brothers had a deal with Toho through 2020. And it got pushed because they had to push the release of Godzilla vs. Kong. But that's it. Technically, that's it. So the inside baseball is that they were waiting to see how Godzilla versus Kong parsed out to decide what to do moving forward. Yeah. I would wager a guess that because this movie just single-handedly saved the box office and is single-handedly bringing theaters back, this movie is what people wanted Tenet to be. It made $50 million domestically opening weekend and about $200 million overseas. So this movie is single-handedly saving us being able to go to theaters.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I think they would be foolish not to make another one. I think that's almost an impossibility. I'm sure they'll make another one.
Yeah, for sure. And the thing that
but this one, I will say though, and then I'll let you. But this one was the first one that didn't have an after credit scene. So I think they.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was definitely excited for one, but there wasn't.